Good morning. Today is Thursday, September 25th. I'm Sofia, and in this morning briefing, I'll walk you through the headlines that are happening today. We're watching from Turkey's president visit to the US, Starbucks firing up $1 billion diet plan, to Intel begging Apple to be its gym buddy. Let's talk about it. So first, Erdogan at the White House. Yes, Turkey's president Erdogan rolled into DC today, and he's basically on a let's be friends again tour with the US after years of tension. And when I say like big deals, I mean big deals like fighter jets, Boeing planes, natural gas. We're talking about $50 billion worth of goodies. And so why is this important? Because Turkey had ticked off the US and they were buying Russian weapons. And now he is, let's go back to the West. And I mean, investors are liking this because this is good for Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and if the deal lands, we'll have to see what happens with these companies. Good news for another American ally, because Argentina just got a $20 billion swap line plus bond buying. We're helping President Milei. That's what Scott Besson said. They've got his back, and they called him a visionary leader in this New York gala yesterday. And so, you know, this is one of the closest allies that President Trump has in the South. Volkswagen, Porsche, Mercedes, they all ticked up because of the new tariffs that are going to be placed for them. It's only going to be 15%. And now, this is good for them and also for drug makers and aircraft too. It's bad news for Starbucks. We're going to be talking about what is happening with Brian Nickel because he's in panic mode. He is doing $1 billion restructuring and he's cutting 900 jobs across the entire US. I mean, this is dragging the stock down 8% today, and their sales are declining, and their competitors like Dutch Bros, Dunkin', it's just like they're like having a turnover right now. And so we're also going to be talking about how like SoftBank and Nvidia are keeping Intel alive, and now Intel wants to go and have talks with Apple. They used to be the chip makers for Macs before, a long time ago, but now their stock is it's tanking because I mean they're in this talks to have all these supply chains all together, and we'll have to see what happens. I mean, if they get to a deal, we'll have to see how that goes. Now, apart from supply chains, we're going to be talking about a good housing surprise because for August, the new home sales spiked by 20.5% to an 800,000 annual pace of houses. Now, builders cut prices, they offered incentives, and the inventory dropped by 490,000 houses per year. And like it's climbed because luxury homes are being sold more, and still good for some buyers, but still out of reach for some young people. Now we're going to be talking about GDP and the moves that it's having, because the real GDP is expected to come at 3.8, and economists have predicted this because of context from Q1. And I mean, imports have fell, which add to GDP, and like consumer spending, it's up, but investments and exports are being dragged. Jobless claims, they fell by 14,000 to 218,000. I mean, if we get a hot GDP and like fewer people filing for unemployment, the Fed has less room to rush into rate cuts. The moment I'm filming this, it's before GDP drops at 8:30 a.m. If inflation is not being controlled, there will be no room for the Fed to do more rate cuts. Thanks for starting your morning with me. I'll see you tomorrow with more headlines.